Hello, in this video we will cover errors. First we will see types of errors and common exceptions. Then we will see try except blocks and finally and else keywords. Now let's open the Jupyter notebook and start coding. There are three types of errors. The first one is syntax errors. They also called as compile time errors and they are caused by incorrect typings. The execution doesn't start for syntax errors. And the second one is runtime errors. They are also called as exceptions and they occur during the execution. The execution starts but cannot end normally for runtime errors. And the last one is logical errors. The program behaves incorrectly but doesn't raise an exception. The logic will be wrong, the things you are doing in the program will be wrong, but it is the execution will start and end normally in this kind of errors, which are logical errors. Okay, now let's see some examples of them. We need to write something wrong to get a syntax error. Let's say if true, okay, and I will forget to put the colons at the end after this true. And after that, I will get to the next line, and into this if block, I am going to print it is true. If I run this, I am going to get a syntax error. It says colons expected. And the execution didn't even start in here. We can understanding by writing a print statement before that, before the line of code that we get the error. And I will print hello. And if I run this, I'm going to get the same result because since this is a syntax error, the execution didn't even start and we didn't see this print hello in the console. Okay, now let's see runtime errors. I will create my list and this will be equal to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, after that, let's print something as this is my list. And I will put the list in here, my list. After that, let's print another thing, and here we will get error, my list at index 5. Since the largest index of this list is 2, 0, 1, 2, we cannot have an index of 5 in it. So we are going to get an error in here. But let's run this and see what happens. First, it is going to print this. This is my list 1, 2, 3. And after that, it will get the error and it will show us the error. Since this is a runtime error, the execution started normally until here. And it also printed the things until here. This is my list. And after that, it gets the error and program shuts down. Okay, now let's see an example of logical error. Let's say x is equal to 2. And I will write an if statement. And I will check if x is even or not. To do this, x modulus 2 is equal to 0. And this will mean x is an even number, right? But we are going to say that in this situation, if we get this one, we'll print x is odd. So there is an error, but the program doesn't know about this. This is a logical error. So the program will start and end normally, but the output will be wrong. Else we will print the same thing in here, but this time it will be even. Okay, if I run this with x is equal to 2, which is an even number, and run this, we will see that 2 is odd and this is wrong. This is an error, but this is a logical error. So the execution will start and end normally. Okay, now let's see common built-in exceptions of Python. Index error. When an index is out of valid range is used. We have seen it actually in here. Let's copy this. Okay, and let's delete this one. Also delete the print statement. Okay, if I run this, I will get index error list in the index out of range. Key error, when a dictionary key is not found. Let's see an example. Say my dictionary is equal to create one. Let's say name is the key and the value is Robert. Okay, after that age and the value is 90. Okay, if I call job is equal to my dictionary and write the key as job in here, since there is no key as job in my dictionary, we are going to get a key error. with this one. Okay, now let's see name error. This is actually very simple. When a variable name is not found, if I try to print z, since I have not defined z anywhere in this code, if I run this, I'm going to get a name error. Name z is not defined. Okay, let's see type error. It is occurred when an operation is applied to an inappropriate type. Let's see. I'm going to define a variable as sum, and I will see that 5 as an integer plus 3. This is an integer and this is a string. So if I run this, I'm going to get type error because this plus operator is not applicable to integer and string together. Okay, now let's see value error. This occurs when the type is right but the value is inappropriate. Let's see an example. My number is equal to, use integer casting, and here this function will take a string in it, right? And if I write 1 2 3 in here and call my number, I will get 123 as an integer, and there is nothing wrong, and this is a string. But if I write another string in here which is inappropriate for this operation, if I write hello, I'm going to get a value error, invalid literal for integer with base 10 and hello. So the type is correct, it is a string, but the value is inappropriate. It should be composed of numbers. Okay, now let's see this one. File not found error when attempt to open a file fails. Let's see an example. With open, I'm going to write my data.txt, but I don't have any file in this location as my data.txt. Let's try to do this. If I write x is equal to f.read, if I try to read this file and run this, I'm going to get file not found error because there is no such file in this directory. Okay, this time let's see module not found error. When import statement fails, we will get this error. If I write import random library, let's run this and we will get no errors. This imported this one. But if I write something, if I write a module name that is not there, let's say random n, and if I run this, I'm going to get module not found error, no module named random n. Okay, this is very simple. Let's see attribute error. This occurs when you try to access or assign an attribute that doesn't exist. Let's see x is equal to abc. Okay, this is a string, and I'm going to call the reverse method on this. This reverse method actually belongs to lists, so it is going to throw an exception. Let's run this. It says attribute error, str string object has no attribute reverse. So this is an attribute that doesn't exist for strings. Okay, so we are getting attribute error. Now let's see handling exceptions with try except blocks. We can prevent program from crashing using try except blocks, and the usage is like this. Let's say try and colon, and after that in the indentation I'm going to write code that may raise an exception. Okay, and I'll just pass this for now, and after that I'll write except and write this part will be executed if exception occurs. Okay, and I'm also going to pass this one. Okay, the logic is like this. You are going to write your code in here in this try, and this code will be a code that you might get an error. You foresee that you might get an exception, so you are going to put it in this try, and if you get an error, the program will not crash. This except is going to prevent that, and it's going to execute the code in here, and it will go on like this. You can also write the name of the exception you are expecting in here. Let's say an exception as e, and you can also print the exception using this e in this except block. Okay, let's see some real examples of this. Let's create another cell in here. Okay, I will try to execute this code, and this is, let's say, result is equal to 1 divided by 0. This is obviously going to throw an exception, right? 0 division exception. And I will write except. I will catch this exception. I'm going to print we have an error. Okay, if I run this, it's going to print this. But if I try to do this normally without using try and except, I'm going to directly get an error and the program will be crashed. Okay, let's get them back. Run this one more time. Okay, now let's see another example. This time I'm going to write the name of the exception and behave according to this situation. Okay, try same thing actually. Let's copy, and after that accept, and I will write the name of the error in here, 0 division error, right? Its name, and it's going to be referred as e in our code after that, and I'm going to print e. If I run this, it's going to say that show us that the content of the error, but the program is not crashed. We have catched it using this except block. Okay, now let's see multiple exceptions. I will create a list as my list, and this will be the same with the above one. I will write 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to create also a dictionary. My dictionary is equal to, and this will be just one key value pair, name and Robert. Okay, if I try to do some operations on them, like x is equal to my list, and I will take the index at 5. Okay, this will throw an error obviously, and y is equal to my dictionary, and the key will be h, which is not in this dictionary, so this is going to also throw an error, and I'm going to write two excepts for those two errors. Let's see, except key error, which is going to be caused by this one, and if you get a key error, let's print we have a key error. Okay, and do the same thing with the other one, except, and here we are expecting a index error, right? Index error. By the way, you need to write those names of the errors correct. You can use this as something if you want to call them some other thing in here. Okay, and in this case I'm going to print we have an index error. Okay, let's run this and see what we'll get. This is going to print just this one, index error. Why is that? Because when it get to this point, it is going to get the error, and after that it's not going to look at this y is equal to my dictionary h. It's not going to execute this line of code because we got the error from here, so it will get out of this try since it got an error, and it's going to find the error it got, which is index error, and print this one. But let's copy this and paste it in here. This time I'm going to change the line of those. Let's take it from here to here. Okay, this time if I run this, I'm going to get a key error. The logic is the same. Since in here we got the error, it's not going to execute this one, so it's not going to get into this index error. It will just get into this key error, which is the error it got first. Okay, now let's see finally keyword. The code in the finally block will be executed at the end, whatever happens. Let's see an example of this. I'm going to try same thing. Result is equal to 1 divided by 0. Okay, this is obviously going to throw an exception, and with the exception, let's say 0 division error. we are going to catch this, and we do not let the program crash. So we will say we got division by 0 error. Okay, and after that I'm going to write the finally keyword, and after that I will put colons, get into this, and print whatever happens. Okay, this will be executed. Okay, let's run this, and there is something wrong. What is wrong in here? Zero division error, invalid syntax. We forgot to put the uh, equal sign in here, but this is actually very good because we said whatever happens this will be executed. It didn't execute this line of code. Why is that? Because we got a syntax error, and in syntax errors the execution is not starting anywhere in the cell, so we will not get anything. But if I correct this one, okay, let's run this one more time. This time here it got the error, and after that it will get into this exec, because this error name in here is the same with this one that we are getting from here, zero division error. It is going to print that, and after that it will print whatever happens, this will be executed because we have a finally keyword at the end. Okay, now let's see else executed if you do not get into except. Let's copy this one and paste it in here. And I'm going to write the else statement after this except block. Let's say else, and I will print no error occurred. Okay, result is, and get out of this result. Okay, uh, this is going to be executed when we do not get into this except. So if there is no error, the else block will be executed, and this finally is still the same. It's going to be executed whatever happens. Let's run this, and we will get division by 0 error. So since we get into this except, we do not get into this else. Let's copy this and paste it in here, and this time I'm going to change this 0 to 1, so we will not get an error. And if I run this, we will see that since we do not get into this except, since we didn't get any error from here, we are going to get into this else, and it is going to print no error occurred. The result is 1, and after that the finally block will be also executed at the end. Whatever happens, this will be executed. Okay, this was all for errors.